Welcome to the channel. So today we're going to go through the decontamination process on the paintwork of this blue Ford Fiesta behind me. So this Ford Fiesta belongs to a regular customer. From a distance the paintwork looks in decent condition, but it is heavily contaminated with both iron fallout and tar. What we're going to do in this video, as I said, is go through the whole decontamination process to get this paint nice and smooth and back to as near factory finish as possible. So first thing in this process is a 2-bucket safe wash. I'm not going to film it for this particular video because there is already a video on the Ceramix Detailing YouTube channel specifically about the 2-bucket safe wash and how to carry one out. So please subscribe to the channel and have a look at that video first. So I've carried out a 2-bucket safe wash and I've towel dried the car. We've had a shower since then, so the vehicle's wet again. The process for the 2-bucket safe wash, so I used a pH 9.5 snow foam just to get off any light polish that might be on there, and then a pH balanced or pH neutral shampoo, so 7.5. It's really important that you know the pH levels of the chemicals that you're putting onto your car. So after the 2-bucket safe wash, towel dried the car as I said. The microfiber towel was actually dragging on the paint surface. I wanted to show that on the video, but it started to shower, started to rain, so I couldn't do that. But you will see how contaminated this paint is once we get to the clay barring stage. So the next thing to do on this vehicle is what's called a chemical decontamination of the paintwork. So I'm going to be using iron fallout remover. Now I use also Smart Red 7, which is a pH 7.5, so a pH neutral formula for that. So iron fallout remover first, and then I'm going to use a glue and tar remover to get off any any tar spots that are on the paintwork then. With regard to this vehicle, it does have a couple of aftermarket parts on there, so I'm going to be doing localized cleaning with regard to both those chemicals. It's really important that you make sure the car has got any aftermarket parts on, because an aftermarket part is not necessarily the same as a factory finished part, so these chemicals can damage plastic aftermarket parts. So with regard to the iron fallout remover, I'm going to be spraying lightly onto the panel very carefully, making sure that I stay within the confines of the panel. Leave it for a couple of minutes, then wash it off with regard to the glue and tar remover onto a clean microfiber towel, and then just spot cleaning wherever we see any spots of tar on the vehicle. Once I've done that, we'll then move on to the mechanical decontamination, which is a clay bar. Right, so that's the chemical decontamination stage sorted. Next we're going to move on to the mechanical decontamination. So that's a clay bar followed by a light polish. A clay bar is not a standalone process. It needs an additional mechanical process after that in order to get rid of any scratches or marring that might be put into the clear coat from the clay bar itself. So clay bar first, I'll show you just how contaminated this paintwork is, and then from there we'll do a light polish with a DA polisher. So when we're clay barring the surface, obviously we've washed it, we've rinsed the vehicle. I do like to towel dry the vehicle after we've washed it. Simple reason is I don't want water spots to develop or detergent spots to develop. You can clay bar the vehicle when it's wet though. So with the clay bar, we'll just tear off a piece. Don't use the entire clay bar if you're looking to clay bar the vehicle for the first time. Just tear a piece off. Keep the clay bar in the plastic it comes in. Don't remove it and then wrap it in cling film or food wrap, because it will stick solid to that surface. Just want to flatten out the actual clay bar surface itself. Also going to be using a lubricant You can use water as a lubricant if you want to. This is actually a waterless wash, cheap waterless wash, which I've diluted 10 to 1, so 10 parts water, 1 part waterless wash. You do need a little bit of lubricant in order to glide the clay bar over the surface. So work in small areas. And I just want to show you exactly how dirty this paint is. So just from that small area, that's how much contaminant is stuck onto the paint surface. So no matter how much you wash the vehicle, that will still remain. So we'll carry on, and I'll obviously do the whole vehicle. One thing about clay barring as well, if you're looking to do this, always, once the area's dirty, always fold the clay bar in, dirty side to dirty side. If you get it wrong and fold it the other way, that piece of clay bar is now gone. You can't undo those sort of mistakes. So fold it in on itself, flatten it out again, and start again. So now we've given it the full clay bar treatment, we're now going to give the vehicle a full IPA or isopropyl alcohol wipe down. So the final decontamination stage now is the polish. So I'm using a Rupees Millet forced rotation polisher and a Milwaukee M12 BPS for the tight areas, Lake Country black finishing pads for it, and also I'm going to be using the Menzerner 3500 super finish polish. We'll point out that this is an existing customer's car, so in their customer file I've already mapped out the entire paint surface, so I know the paint thickness across the entire vehicle, the scratch depth, and also any blemishes. So that's something that we would do right at the start of the relationship with a customer, just to map out the vehicle to make sure that we can get the vehicle back to a fantastic finish over a period of time. If you're carrying out any paint correction at all on a vehicle, make sure that you measure the paint depth. I'd hate for people to go through the clear coat. I've seen that done on numerous occasions. So as I said, final polishing stage, and then after that we'll see what sealant to put on the vehicle to finish it off. So we're on to the final stage now of our process. This is the paint sealant part. So this stage is just as vital as the polishing stage after a clay bar. The reason that this vehicle or the paintwork is in such a mess is because it's probably never had any paint sealant applied to it. So I'm going to be using a liquid wax from a company called Kosh Chemi, but any decent wax or paint sealant is obviously good enough for this stage.